Hey everybody, it's Curly Cuban Dominican bringing you one of my final installments for my Journey to Nail Technician series. If you follow me, this has been going on since September. I know it's almost March, but we're going to get to why I'm just now doing this vlog. There was another vlog previous to this one. I'm not sure if I'm going to publish it. It was kind of short, and I don't know, acting all kind of out of my character because test anxiety. It happens. So where do we begin? I'm going to talk about both of the exams. I'm going to break them up. So, theory. Why I had test anxiety on theory today, I have no clue. No, I do have a clue. It was paid for. And nobody wants to go through paying for a state exam, getting scheduled, taking your test, failing your test, whether it be by a landslide or a hair, waiting a particular period of time because you can't just go right back and take it over, and then having to resubmit the fees. So for me, failure is not really an option. So yeah. Now I passed my theory. Passed it with flying colors, like I was almost at 100. So I don't know. I mean, my teacher had faith in me. She's like, you do so well on your tests. I think you're going to be great when you go to theory. You're going to blow them away. Which, I mean, I was only there for like 25 minutes. Now, this testing company was different from the company who did my aesthetics exam. One, I had to drive to a whole nother city on 2 different days. I wasn't able to schedule them together, which is why I think I'm going to do one more vlog so I can kind of talk about some of the idiosyncrasies with this company. Not in a bad way, but just as a cross comparison to what I went through the first time going through aesthetics. Because they definitely were really strict. I've never been anywhere where I had to lift up pants legs or give up my glasses. You couldn't wear jewelry into the room. Like this was a no-no. Unless you were married, you couldn't wear rings in there, no watches, no Fitbit. So yeah, you lost some steps that day. You could only wear small studs, which I got away with wearing my nose. I had to put one, well, I almost lost my tragus piercing. This is a stud now, which I've never worn in all the years I've had this piercing. But because I had a hoop in there, I had to take that out. So I took it out like a day or 2 before my test. And once I passed my test, I pretty much had this I don't care attitude for a couple of days. So I totally forgot to put it back in. Almost a week to my test day, I realized I hadn't put my ring back in. And it felt like I was ripping my ear off. Not cool. So I had to re-stretch my tragus. I'm going to tip my hat to anybody who stretches any piercing on their body because it literally felt like my ear was coming off. So those were some of the strict things. And the day of the exam, there was some guy in there. I don't know what he was taking his test for. I didn't talk to anybody except for the person who checked me in. He was just doing a whole lot. All kinds of violations. Things that probably would have gotten me kicked out and I would have had to forfeit my test fee. Because they get, when you sign up, they tell you exactly what is prohibited and what is not prohibited. Everything that was prohibited, he was doing. It had there was a huge sign on the door. Huge, like the size of, like, I don't know, a tire. That says, please power off your cell phone before passing this point. People had their phone on. Snacks, all kinds of things. I'm like, I'm here to do what I got to do and go home. So that was pretty easy. And the best part about theory exams, because this is my 3rd state exam that I've taken, you do know whether you pass right away or not. At least for the ones I took. I took a pharmacy tech, I took esthetician, and now this. And each time I got my theory score back immediately. So I think it's just like nurses and a few others that don't get their score right away. But you can still check online. Don't wait for it to come in the mail. Check online, because that's what I did for my practical, which I'm about to get into. Practical. Oh my gosh. So I need to stress one thing before I get into this practical thing. Be prepared. And I'm going to get into that in just a minute. So morning of practical, was like the morning that was like hell on wheels. I didn't sleep the night before because I was anxious. Test anxiety has like a death grip on me once I start overthinking, and I feel really bad for anybody that experiences anxiety on a daily basis because that is the most crushing sensation. I don't like it. But yet I put myself through it. And it's almost like a reflex because I can say, oh, you got this, girl, you good, and still have test anxiety that morning. So, what can I think of that I can start off with this practical exam? Aside from the testing. Oh, it was pouring. It was absolutely horrible outside. I left like 15 minutes later than I wanted to. I got stuck in traffic. I was driving like a crazy person. Get there, the line is like crazy long. It's like the length of two standard driveways. So it's like, am I going to get checked in time? And that leads me to what I was talking about earlier about being prepared. Now, I've already done this before through aesthetics. So I already knew there was going to be a kit that was going to have to be purchased so you could demonstrate the practical skills. If you are going to do all of this hard work to get to the point of the exam, don't forget your kit, or don't forget important things in your kit that are like vital to you passing. I felt so bad for this young lady because you forfeit your test fees. If you show up that day and you're missing something, there is no going back home to get it. You may have failed your test, or they're going to dock some major points. So a young lady gets off the elevator as we're standing there, and the first thing that comes out of her mouth is, I forgot my mannequin head. Now, I'm assuming because there were different people there for different things, barbers, cosmetologists, wax techs. I didn't see any estheticians, so I don't know if it's still the same company that did mine. But how do you forget the most important thing? Your dummy head or your mannequin head. How do you forget that? That would be like me showing up to the exam without a hand to work on. Which we didn't have to have an actual hand per se, like one of these. We were able to fill a glove if we wanted to. But I was like, no, I'm going to need mine to be on point. We not even going to go there. As far as my kit goes, the only thing that really gave me trouble was this. Barbicide. Now, I know you're probably thinking, what do you mean? What I mean is, nowhere on this part of the label do you see hospital grade. And that's what my candidate information bulletin specifically stated it must say. Now, that's why I was telling you guys I'm going to do another vlog, because I called the company to get a little more specific, because when I went through my mock boards, the first thing my teacher pointed out is that it didn't say hospital grade, nor did it say bactericidal. So when I called the company, I said, look, I bought this barbicide. It's in a spray bottle, which makes it easier for cleaning purposes for the exam. It doesn't specifically say hospital grade, but it is barbicide. It is the original manufacturer's, container and every label and everything. They couldn't give me a definitive answer as to whether this was going to be accepted or not. Or at least they danced around it. I just need clarification. So she suggested that because this comes with 6 ampules of pre-measured barbicide, she suggested, because this is what the box came in. This is from the ampules. Cut this off and stick it on the bottle, because you can't relabel anything with your own handwriting. That is a no-no. Also, it says germicide and not bacterial-cide, so that was kind of like iffy and in the air. So that part of my kit, and then the hand, which the hand looks just like this one, but I'm not going to let you get too close up on this one, because this is the one I was using when I first started. So I have jacked the cuticles and side walls of this one all up. But these don't come with fingernails already attached on them. You have to add some. So you use Gorilla Glue, and then you just kind of tape them up there, or glue them up there. So I did mine like, I don't know, a day or two before my exam, so the glue could set all the way. And so you have to prep your hand. So etching the nail bed part where the plate would have normally been, can be a little tease because you can't nip up the cuticle or the sidewalls because they're looking at that when you go to do your manicure modality. So that was a bit, that was about the only thing I really had trouble finding, was trying to, you know, get a barbicide that was labeled exactly the way they wanted. The hand was easy. I got that like off of Amazon. Amazon was my friend during this whole journey. It got me to go to that Prime account. I know that. So let's see, what else can I think of? The test itself is not long. Mine was short because upon registration, I was told, oh, you're the only nail tech student here today. Why? You know, that's all I kept thinking. Like, you know, that way they don't have to focus on me all the way. You can look at somebody else and make sure they're not messing up. So that had me pretty nervous being in there by myself. But you know what? God was on my side because the AC unit was literally right behind my table. So I had cold air blowing all up my lab jacket, and that was fine. Because when I get nervous, I sweat. You know, go figure. Let's see. Did I drop anything? I did drop an orange stick or a wooden pusher stick. However, it wasn't something that was going to mess me up because I had extras in my kit. I had extras in each bag for each modality. I won't playing around with these people. So, did that. My hand, which was on a gooseneck, kind of like this back here, came off the table at the end, and I caught it before it hit the floor, because I'm pretty sure that would constitute the same thing as your client falling out the chair. I don't know, but it was during incident exposure, which is kind of like you demonstrating that in the event something happens and you cannot continue to work because client has broken skin, that you know how to handle the situation. And it was all good. You know, I had put my little first aid kit out, you know, proceeded to wrap the finger, put the gauze on it, and as I was wrapping the Band-Aid around, the clamp it popped off the table, and I had to catch it by the gooseneck part. So now I got a hand, you know, I'm holding on to the gooseneck, and I'm trying to also make sure I maintain the pressure with the Band-Aid that's halfway wrapped around this finger. Now I'm trying to stick a Band-Aid around the rest of the finger with gloved hands, and that was just difficult. So that was the only part that had me like, oh my gosh, what if I failed? So, you know, I just gathered my stuff and drove home. Now, this was back in the early part of February. We are now in the last week of February, and I just got my score last week. So, I can breathe now all the way. In fact, I didn't even unpack my kit until I got, in fact, my kit still isn't unpacked. I refused to unpack it until I got my practical results. So, now I have a chance to brag a little bit. Be humble, but I'm going to brag a little bit. I am the first and only student from my school that has gone to state boards and passed on their first attempt. First and only as of right now. So hopefully my classmates will catch up. We are the second class from our school. So that felt pretty cool to be the first one to break the ice, because the thing about, you know, cosmetology schools and things of that nature, nobody can predict if you're financially prepared to take your exam, whether it be submitting the test fees or, you know, having all your materials. And like I said, this company was a little bit different as far as my scheduling went. The availability was a lot more selective. So, we'll talk about that more in another vlog. But I'm done. I am mailing off for my license tomorrow. Or not mailing off, but applying online. Ain't nobody got time for that mailing off stuff. And that's pretty much it. So I'm excited to add licensed nail technician onto my list of titles. And I hope to do really well. I have a few things in mind that I want to do that would kind of set me apart from other nail technicians in the area. So I'm excited for that. And I just want to say thank you for watching. I know I've rambled a little bit in this video, but I talked about both exams and everything that kind of went with it. I'm just glad it's over. That 150 hours was pretty intense, cramming all that information in there, but I think if you read, you know, and practiced, you were going to be fine. So once again, thank you guys for watching. If you're in Hampton Roads area, hit me up. Get your nails did. See you guys in another vlog at another time.